All right, guys, so we need to talk about this massive smoke that is spreading throughout the northeastern part U.S. We're talking about New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Boston, Massachusetts, Virginia, D.C., the Carolinas. This thing is just all over the place. Everybody's sharing pictures on Instagram, on Twitter. This massive orange sky. You can't even see the buildings. You can't see no buildings now. So 18 states on high alert. More than 100 million people were told to stay inside your house. There's some small particles in the air, right? And there's also toxin. So they're telling people, those in good health and those in bad health, stay inside your house. So now we are getting information from the White House. This is big. The White House is saying that this is all because of climate change. Now we're about to see a new, possibly a bill or a new world system to be put in place because of California wildfire, and now Canada, and now the U.S. is being impacted. So they are talking about a new change. Last week, actually 2 days ago, 2 days ago, I posted a video. They want Americans to drive less. Use your bike, walk, or catch the bus, but do not operate your vehicles anymore. They're telling Americans, don't cut your grass once a week, do it once a month. Or just, buy a machete and just cut the grass. We cannot be affording to see our planet being destroyed because of climate change. So they are coming out with all these things saying Americans need to kind of control their, driving and going to places and stuff like that. So again, guys, we're going to see something big. But I feel bad for the 100 million people who got hit with this smoke. All right. And today is July the 7th. Experts are saying this is going to get a lot worse. And the reason why it's going to get a lot worse is because Canada just evacuated another town because the fire is spreading and it's going to grow bigger, and there's going to be more smoke hitting certain parts of the U.S. depending on the wind where it blows it. So I want to read this, and it says, wildfire smoke, another sign of climate change, the White House says. All right, so they're basically doing something to the people. I don't know, guys. I just feel like this is something that possibly is planned. Or can it be an act of God? Can it be that God is shaking the U.S.? A lot of stuff is going on here, guys. Ohio, train derailment, the wildfire situation, the smoke that is hitting states. And by the way, they say that water could be impacted for those in certain areas. So look, at the very end, people need to be prepared. Things are going to hit the fan. There's going to be a whole bunch of new stuff that's going to come out. They're already telling people to stop driving your vehicles. Just get on the bike or just catch the bus. Meanwhile, they have their $1 million private plane. Look up there. I'm seeing chemtrails all over the place. So and plus the war. I mean, all those stuff that's flying left and right, all those stuff is all being sprayed in the air. And they want us to stop driving? All right, let's see what's going on here. So the wildfire smoke enveloping New York City, Washington, D.C., and much of the East Coast is another example of the climate crisis, the White House said today, Wednesday. Now, this is the announcement. I think it was evening. They just giving the American people a heads up of what's going on with this smoke that is spreading throughout the entire northeastern U.S. So they're giving their updates, and they're very concerned. The U.S. is very concerned. The White House is very concerned that this is happening. And by the way, the White House was covered So there was orange going on in the White House too. This thing is reaching way down, passing Virginia. All right, so the wildfires from the north have sent large swath of eastern U.S. into dangerous levels of smoke and smog, including Washington, D.C. But it's not merely a natural disaster, according to Press Secretary. Now, again, guys, for those of you that missed my video, the links will be in the comments box. This is my 4th video talking about this. The most concerning thing is they have particles now in the air. These particles, you breathe it in, it could impact your lungs. It could impact your heart. They're saying that you could have tough time breathing. So it says here, this is yet another alarming example of the ways in which the climate crisis is disturbing our lives and our communities, she said. That's why from day one, you have the leader of the U.S. rightfully recognize the climate crisis. This is when it comes in. This is when they change everything around and say, hey, now we need to add some executive order. We need to change this system around. It's getting really bad. California is getting bad. Every single year we're getting hit with fire and this and that. I just believe there's a lot more to this. There's so much more to this. And I just feel bad for the people. But again, guys, at the very end, just put your faith and trust in Christ and put your faith and trust in God. Things are going to change really quick. So the world that we live in is going to be a completely different ball game. Well, it's been happening since what took place in 2001. That right there was the opening. And then you had Barack. He became the leader and he changed everything around. It said that's why from day one, the leader of the U.S. rightfully recognized the climate crisis, now the climate change, as one of the 4 crises facing our nation as he was coming into the Oval Office. Now, the other 3 crises were the 2020 event, which is, again, the C-19, a wobbly economy, and racial injustice. So air quality in the Washington area plummeted overnight as smoke from wildfires in Canada traveled south into the U.S. The National Weather Service is advising that people in much of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic should avoid outdoor activities on Wednesday because the air quality is unhealthy. It's not good. Air Now rated the air quality in Washington as very unhealthy at 10 a.m. local time, meaning that the risk of health effects is increased for everyone. The rating is the second highest on the 6-category scale below hazardous. What in the world is going on here? What is going on here? I mean, look, I know Canada is going through their situation here, but multiple countries could come together and kind of help out. We could actually do this thing in 2 days, kind of control the fire, but it's not happening. This fire has been going on for a while. And knowing that we are so far ahead of technology, don't you think that we have some kind of idea on how to control this thing? And again, guys, look, wildfire season, you can't stop that. You can't stop it. There's going to be days that the sun is going to hit really hard and it's going to spark something. You have days that, sometimes people go out camping and then all of a sudden they kind of lit a cigarette and they throw the matches on the floor, it kind of lit up something. You can't stop, fire going on. You can't stop it. So the survey says that exposure to poor air quality can cause headaches, difficulty breathing, irritation in the eyes and throat. This is when the particle kicks in. Among other adverse reactions, they also recommend that wearing a mask may help limit irritation for those suffering from respiratory illnesses. Again, those who has asthma. The leader of the U.S. did not wear a mask as he strolled the outdoor parts of the White House grounds Wednesday, the secretary said, and neither have administration staff. However, she stressed that the outdoor walks were brief. I just don't have anything to share on any changes to how the leader is going to be approaching this, she said. We've been walking back and forth across the colonnade and nobody is wearing masks. But the administration will continue making climate change a priority even as the smoke clears. I'm not an expert, but it's clear, as we have seen over the last couple of decades, that climate change has been a real problem, the secretary said. It is the science that shows us that. All right, so I believe that there's going to be a huge ball game on dealing with this. They're going to come out with something. Of course, it's going to be a bill. Is it going to be for the good? Well, like I say, guys, I don't know how you're going to stop wildfire because it happens. It happens. There's days that it gets really hot. And if there's a dry area, I mean, how are you going to stop it? I mean, you can't control the sun. You can't tell the sun, hey, I want the temperature to be at this. You can't tell the sun what to do. The sun is too big. So there's no controlling the sun. So what's going to happen? What's their plan? How are they going to save the planet? How are they going to stop the wildfire from occurring every single year? Well, like I say, guys, in order to fix all this, they have to sign bills and stuff like that, executive orders. And, I mean, there's a possibility it might not be for the climate thing. It might be for something else. So, like I said, I mean, we got to think about the people at the very end. With all the stuff going on, you have the train derailments in Ohio. You have all these train derailments in different parts of the states. You have fire going on. You have so many things going on. You have war going on. I'm still trying to figure out what happened to that 60,000 ammonium nitrate that just vanished. It's like the story just disappeared on that one. That's like one of the biggest stories. Very concerning. Very concerning because whoever has that thing could set off a huge 4th of July. It could be worse than what took place in 2001. So nobody's talking about that no more. That's under the table. So it just, again, we got to, be prepared for what's to come. But the big question is, what about the people? What about the people that experienced this fire, the smoke? What about them? What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to the 100 million that has experienced this massive orange blob? Are they going to have some kind of issue in the long run? Because I got calls. A lot of my families and friends say, man, this is bothering me. It's like they were getting angry. It's like the smoke just irritated them. So itchy throat and watery eyes. They had to stay home. They're telling me that the sky is clearing up. Well, yeah, because the wind is blowing it. But there's a possibility tomorrow it might be another one. Hopefully nothing bad is going to happen to those who were impacted. But again, guys, we are living in these times that things are happening, and a lot of people are being impacted, just like in what happened in Ohio. So I would keep you updated on this story, but please pray for the 100 million people. I'm still getting information that there's still code red going on, but yeah, just continue praying. Like I said, I do believe there's going to be a whole bunch of different stuff that's going to come out when it comes to controlling the climate change stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be safe. God bless you all. Give your life to Jesus Christ and get baptized. We are living in tough times. Till next time later. Peace.